what amount of great content you've been able to play in a Marvel series? You've been able to play Barack Obama. Of course, I love Max, and we've all fell in love with you on this series. But how has like maybe the perspective of this story changed over the years? When I mean, I know you've been cohabitating between London and America, but when America has had like maybe authoritarianism, totalitarianism, fascism kind of coming to the forefront of politics, how's the possibility of this story, like the fiction to reality, felt to see how the world has changed around since y'all started?
I mean, there's definitely been some scary developments in the world, and it's hard to contend with. I think sometimes, and it's funny actually, like studying Barack, one of the things that he said, which really resonated, was that, if you want to, it's easy to get like depressed and down about national politics, global politics, and actually the problem with that sometimes is it can kind of like engender an attitude of defeatism. Nothing can be done. But actually, he was very much of the position that try and get involved in local politics, try and get involved on a more local level. And I know Handmaid's Tale are doing some of that in terms of, trying to increase reproductive rights and supporting foundations that do that. And I, in my own personal work, have got some other charities and things I support, and just trying to, on a more local level, engender change. Because otherwise, you're just like, well, we're just heading down the hell, and we're heading there fast. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just important that we do stuff.
Uh, Tell me about like what was the spark for you? Like, what was the first time you was able to perform in front of a large audience, and like when did you feel like this is something that I could chase and be tangible dream?
Yeah, I don't know. There were lots of little moments. Weirdly enough, I think the one that I'm a come from the theater background, and I there was a time I was studying for my exams for like maths or A levels or whatever, and I was helping out in the theater just doing the lighting. And I remember doing that and thinking, I love this. I just love being part of the theater. And weirdly enough, it was that experience that made me go home that night and go, I'm gonna apply to drama school and try and become an actor.
Yeah. I think like we've watched over these seasons and we've all wanted your character to go, go get their child, get their child back and everything. But I think this season we see like a little flip in your script. Like I feel like you turn like a switch and how does it feel for your character without, ruining it for all the audience that's gonna love it in a few days? How does it feel to see your character like kind of like, kind of turn the switch and have some new characteristics kind of this season?
I think you're absolutely right. This season we kind of see Luke come to terms with the fact that what he's been trying hasn't really been working, and that there may be a change is necessary. Like Hannah is growing up, like their time is a ticking. She's about to become a wife or a handmaid, or like something has to be done. It has to be done yesterday, and that kind of pushes Luke to try new things.
Yeah. I know you like to play basketball and other stuff, but like when you're not filming, because I mean you've had such a busy year with the first ladies and everything else. Like what do you do to decompress to just get into to OT and not these characters that you dive into?
Yeah, well, like you say, I love balling. I still play basketball. In fact, I'm nursing a twisted ankle at the moment because I landed kind of badly. But outside of that, I don't know. I'm really a family person. I love my family, and so I spend a lot of time with them as much as possible. And then uh, and then I like to write. I mean, I know it's work again, but me with my brother Luti and my other brother Daps, we're developing some projects. So that's the other thing I do in my spare time.
And last question, I was curious, like reading your dossier or whatever about the Nigerian Macbeth. Like, can you tell me like how did like what elements of 'cause after watching Denzel do the tragedy of Macbeth and everything else, like how did the Nigerian like what was the different little elements that y'all threw into the Nigerian Macbeth to play off the Shakespearean classic?
Oh wow, you went deep. Yeah, the great and late Rufus Orishiomi, my uncle Rufus, who develop this play, in Nigerian folklore. What do you have in Macbeth? You have a king, and you have witches, and you have prophecy, and you have and all of these things. Royalty and prophecy and witches is a big part of Nigerian folklore in some ways. Even in Nigeria's present, there is and so yeah, it's very alive, the stories. And of course, the great thing about Shakespeare is that he writes these universal stories about betrayal and about ambition, and so I think there are lots of contexts where that play could be translated, but it definitely worked in the Nigerian context.
Well, appreciate your time, OT. Can't wait till everybody gets to talk about this season and see your character develop. And can't wait to see anything you got next on screen, behind the screen, whatever you're doing, man. I'm a fan.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. It's been great chatting with you.